So today was election in Mathura. I heard in Karnataka also someplace.
Yes, Bangalore also today. We
Bangalore
voted,
also.
Prabhuji. Yes.
You voted. Okay, good, good. I also voted. Okay, good. So, Shobha ji, you voted? You voted? Yes. Okay, good. Gupta ji, Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी।
आपका इलेक्शन कब है दिल्ली में?
हमारा इलेक्शन तो मेरे ख्याल मई में है। मई में
लास्ट में है क्या?
I don't remember the exact date, but it is sometime in May.
Sometime. Okay, not sure. Okay.
Lot of time to go.
Okay, fine, good. I think finally you will vote last, maybe. Anyway,
Yes.
your chief minister is in jail. So, fine. So many political scenarios in the country.
Very true.
Dear Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी।
तो आप जा रहे हैं वोटिंग के लिए दिल्ली में बाद में?
देखते हैं प्रभु कैसे रहेगा।
हाँ, ठीक रहेगा, आपको जाना पड़ेगा। वोट करना हमारा अधिकार है, अपना हमारा कर्तव्य है। ठीक है। हमने एक वीडियो शेयर किया था ना मधुर पंडित गुरु का।
हाँ
जी।
हमारा वोट से क्या होगा? Everything, if you're a part of this whole nation, you have a duty to do it. Your duty. वो क्या होगा आप छोड़ दीजिए, भगवान का इच्छा है, हमें हमारा ड्यूटी करना है बस। ठीक है।
Very true.
हाँ, that's what it means. ठीक है। So, Kamath family, Hare Krishna. Voice is not coming. Not able to hear you. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
We
Did you
voted
vote
also.
today? Did you vote?
Yes, today we voted.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Fine.
Early morning we went, 6:30.
So early. Oh, very
Yes.
good. You're so
Bye.
enthusiastic to vote, huh?
Yeah, 7:45 we were home.
We are home.
Yes.
Back.
There was rush in your place to
Oh,
vote?
No, because I'm senior citizen. I was the first.
Oh, really? Okay. Senior citizens have,
Yes.
Yes. There is one advantage of being senior citizen.
Very good. Take all advantages and become more Krishna conscious, that's all.
Yes.
Yeah, one more advantage of becoming Krishna conscious nicely. Good. Nice. भूमिका जी, हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी।
आपका इलेक्शन कब है?
अभी पता नहीं प्रभु जी, मुझे डेट का नहीं पता।
पता नहीं आपको? हाँ, ठीक है। हुआ नहीं ना अब तक इलेक्शन आपको यहाँ? हाँ,
नहीं अभी नहीं।
हाँ, ठीक है, पता चल जाएगा ना कब होगा।
हाँ जी।
ठीक है, चलिए, वेरी नाइस। हम तो इलेक्शन के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं। ठीक है। Anyway, it's also one of the activities which is going on. So
Yes.
our own situation. So it is part of the way. ठीक है। तो सुषमा जी, हरे कृष्णा। सुषमा कौल जी।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्णा। आप कहाँ से ज्वाइन हो रहे हैं सुषमा जी?
ग्रेटर नोएडा से प्रभु जी।
Okay, very good. Welcome. Maybe I met you. I don't know. I don't know immediately.
एक्चुअली हम रसराज प्रभु की क्लास भागवतम अटेंड कर रहे हैं।
Okay.
प्लस उनसे भगवत गीता भी एक बार पढ़ी थी। अभी माता जी है ना, भावना गुप्ता माता जी।
Okay.
उन्होंने बोला कि आप क्लास ले रहे हो, तो शी गेव मी द लिंक।
Okay. Bhavana Gupta is Bhumika ji's sister, right? Right?
आई डोंट नो, बट उसने बोला कि आप क्लास ले रहे हो फ्राइडे सैटरडे, तो शी गेव मी द लिंक।
Okay, fine. Welcome.
Last class also I attended last Friday.
Yeah, I remember seeing you, but I couldn't interact with you. Fine, welcome.
Everybody से जुड़े हैं प्रभु जी।
Okay, very good. Continue. Bhavana ji, Hare Krishna. Welcome after long time. आपका इलेक्शन हो गया उधर मुंबई में?
यस प्रभु जी।
इलेक्शन हो गया आपका उधर मुंबई में?
नहीं प्रभु जी, अभी नहीं हुआ है।
कब तक होगा?
22nd next month, 20th, 22nd.
आपको तो लास्ट है ठीक है, नो प्रॉब्लम, आराम से करिए। ओके, वैशाली जी, हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
हरे कृष्णा, हरे कृष्णा। So you are connected with our devotee Nitya Tupta Prabhu, no?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So you are from
Yeah.
which place?
I'm from Hyderabad.
Okay, so nice. We have people from Bangalore, Mumbai, Noida, all over India, you can say practically.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much.
You are going to our Hare Krishna movement at Hyderabad, Banjara Hills.
Yes, yes.
Okay, very good. Very good.
Yeah.
You're going, attending sessions.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Enrich your understanding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Welcome.
But the near one is Secunderabad also, near to my house. So I go very frequently here.
You stay in Secunderabad actually?
I stay in Uppal, so Secunderabad is near.
Nearer. Okay.
Banjara Hills is a bit far, so
Okay, fine.
yeah.
No, wherever you're convenient, please go. Attend.
Yeah, sure.
And,
Yeah.
keep in touch with devotee association. That's all. That's the main thing.
Yeah. Yes,
Sadhu
Prabhuji.
Sangha is important.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so
This is
much.
our weekly
Prabhuji.
Sadhu Sangha, wherein we meet remotely on an online platform. But nevertheless, Sadhu Sangha is important. Otherwise, our mind will go here and there.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Soumya Mataji, Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु, दंडवत प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्णा। आपका गुड़गांव तो 25 मई है ना वोटिंग?
यस प्रभु, ये
आपका लास्ट बट वन है। चलिए, you have enough time to think to whom to vote.
यस
Fine. So let's begin our session with the prayers, Prabhupada and Krishna. Continue discussions. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prajnani Vishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Devratadari Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra ki jai Shri Shri Nitai Gauranga ki jai Shri Radha ki jai Nitai Gaur Premanande
Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. So we had begun our discussions on chapter 7. In chapter 7, there is no question of Arjuna. Krishna is directly speaking. Sri Bhagavan Vacha. The very first verse, 3 verses in that, right, are more or less sort of introduction to the rest of this chapter. You can say introduction to the rest of this whole middle section, in one sense. Because Krishna now is going to speak about himself, which will help the hearer to become attached to him. That is the main point of conclusion which Krishna made towards the end of 6th chapter. Right? He said, the topmost yogi is he who can always keep his mind fixed in Krishna, worship him with great faith, and always intimately be united with him, which means Krishna is expecting a very intimate relation of each of us with him, because we are constitutionally or actually, naturally in that situation. Prabhupada in one of the contexts used the word sahaja. Sahaja means that is our natural situation, right? Whereas right now, our situation has become something artificial. We think Krishna is not connected to me or something. No, it is not. I'm not able to relate. This has come out. Why? Because we have come in contact with this material nature since time immemorial. And Prabhupada is going to explain about the reason why it has become like this in today's verses which we're going to discuss. So, attachment to Krishna is natural for us. Nitya Siddha Krishna Bhakti Sadhya Kabunai. Chaitanya Charitamrita says that Krishna Bhakti is Nitya Siddha, which is natural in our situation as spirit soul. So right now, that situation of Krishna consciousness is become alien to us or foreign to us. So Krishna is telling in the very beginning of this chapter that when you become attached to me, Maya Sakta, when your mind becomes attached to Krishna by a regular process, a standard authentic process, as given by Krishna, as given by the acharyas, as given by the scriptures, then without doubt, Krishna says, we can know Krishna completely. And Krishna is again reaffirming in verse number 2, telling that I will declare this to you that both material knowledge and spiritual knowledge will be completely known to you. And once you know this, nothing else is to be known. And this understanding, Krishna says, is not easy to, in fact, know. Because there are many, many people who are endeavoring on the path of spiritual discipline. Some think just knowing I am not this body, I am spirit, soul is perfection. Some are on the process of Brahman realization, impersonal Brahman realization, thinking that ultimately we're all formless, variety-less. There are some spiritualists who think that ultimately everything is void, or there are some disciplines of spiritual practices which say that ultimately you have to realize Paramatma. So like this, the different types of various spiritual paths, wherein all of them have their own destinations which they have understood as supreme in their particular spiritual pursuits. Krishna says all of them may be a stepping stone to the ultimate destination of Krishna as the person. So Krishna says in third verse that it's not easy to know him as he is. And to know him, the only way is to again develop attachment to him. And this attachment, when it becomes intensified, that intense attachment is what is known as bhakti, devotional service to Krishna. This is what is the discussion in the from 7th chapter up to the end of 18th chapter. How to develop that, how to increase your attachment to Krishna. Right? Only that increased attachment, Radharani's attachment is topmost. That stage of attachment is described as Mahabhava stage, which Krishna himself is so much feeling that I would like to experience that attachment which Radharani has for me. That's why Krishna took a form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to experience that love, devotion, attachment which Radharani has towards Krishna. Right? So this is the whole philosophy of Krishna consciousness, and gradually it is revealing to what Krishna is going to reveal to us step by step, all these things. So to begin with, in the next verse, that is verse number 4, which we are going to discuss today, few verses from 4 onwards, Krishna is going to start describing about himself. What is he? Right? In fact, 7th chapter, 9th chapter, 10th chapter, 11th chapter are all going to explain to us in detail about Krishna's various opulences. Very clearly, Prabhupada explained to us that in the very beginning of this chapter, 7th chapter purport, that Krishna is full in all opulences, and how he manifests such opulences are described here. Opulence basically means greatness, his some wonderful features of his personality, maybe intelligence, maybe power, maybe his various other, like people say, I'm very rich. I have so many properties in different parts of the world. I am so rich that I have this big bungalows. I am so rich. Other like this, people have, I am so powerful. So this is called opulence. So basically scriptures say there are 6 main opulences. Krishna has all of them in full. So in different ways, Krishna is going to explain to us these opulences going forward. Very interesting and very absorbing for us to carefully go through these various descriptions which Krishna gives. So verse number 4 is Bhumi Rapo Nalo Vayu Kham Mano Buddhirevacha Ahankaram Iti Yamme Bhinna Prakritir Ashtada. So here Krishna is telling us, as the Prabhupada says, that the science of God is being described here. The Bhagavad Gita is known as the science of God. It is not some sentimental exposition of somebody known as Krishna and his friend Arjuna is listening to them, and then Krishna is talking something and Arjuna is listening. That's all. No. This is a science. Science means it is universally accepted truth. So the beginning of the science of God is the analysis of the position of God and his diverse energies. So Krishna is telling that what is this material world around us? And this material world, what we see as mountains, hills, oceans, so many scenic manifestations, planets, sky, water, so many things we see around us. What is all this? Right? So Krishna is telling all of them can be broken down into 8 basic elements, or Krishna calls them as energies. Right? There are 8 energies which are all in different ways, different permutations and combinations. They're all working and they're manifesting in different ways what you see around us. So Krishna says, this is called, this combinedly it is called material nature. More about material nature we'll see as we discuss. But right now we can understand the energies, the diverse energy of, one of the diverse energies of Krishna is this material nature to begin with. And what is this material nature? Material nature, which is also known as Prakriti, is one of the multi-energies of Krishna. Krishna has many energies. And Prakriti or material nature in the form of different various material manifestations we are seeing is one of the energies. And we are also one of the energies which Krishna is going to explain in the next verse. So what is Krishna telling? This material nature, Prakriti, is composed of 8 aspects. Krishna says they are my separated material energies. They are Bhumi, Apa, Anala, Vayu, Kham, Mana, Buddhi, Evacha, Ahankara. Bhumi, earth, water, fire, air, ether. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and ego. This is what are the 8 different aspects in different permutation and combination, which are all manifesting different aspects in the material world. So, for this, Prabhupada explains that this material world, what we see around us, this is the creation of one of the expansions of Krishna. Right? The spiritual world, Krishna, Goloka Vrindavan, he first expands himself as Balaram. Balaram further expands himself into what is known as the Chaturvyuha, the first quadruple forms of Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. And further, there is an expansion of Narayana from this Chaturvyuha. All the Vaikuntha, various spiritual worlds are called Vaikunthas. In each of the Vaikunthas, innumerable Vaikunthas, there is one Narayana form expanded. Right? Again, from this Narayana, there is second Chaturvyuha. Little technical, but is how the scriptures explain to us. Chaturvyuha means the 4 expansions of from Baladev further. Right? Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. And from this Sankarshana, there is what is known as the Purusha Avataras. The Purusha Avatara means the incarnation of the expansion of Krishna meant to create this material world. The Purushas, there are 3 Purushas. They are called as Vishnu. Right? So Prabhupada is explaining about these 3 Vishnus here. Now the first Vishnu is called Mahavishnu, who expands from the second Chaturvyuha, Sankarshana. And he is lying down in one corner of the spiritual sky. And from his skin pores, innumerable universes are generating. And into each of these universes, Mahavishnu, that is the first Purusha, expands into Garbhodaka Shayi Vishnu, enters into each of these universes. As many universes, that many Vishnus expand as Garbhodaka Shayi Vishnu. And this Garbhodaka Shayi Vishnu, from his navel, there is the growth of lotus flower. And at the top of lotus flower, Brahma is born. I'm just giving a synopsis. All descriptions are there in Bhagavata and other scriptures. So basically, this is how the creation happens. And the stem of this lotus is what is the 14 planetary systems. We are in the Bhumandala, the middle planetary system. Right? So like this, when these planetary systems are created, Brahma is created again, the Lord expands as Paramatma Vishnu. It's called Kshirodaka Shayi Vishnu, enters into every living entity's heart, every atom. So, Prabhupada says, quoting from a scripture, that when you understand all these various Vishnus properly, then you will be liberated from material world. Otherwise, generally, people think this material world has no creator. Material world has come out on its own. They give the theory of, a Big Bang theory. There was a chunk and it exploded, and this is how the material world is created. No creator, no controller. Like that, so many theories are being propagated, but very clear description of how this world was created, when it was created, and why it was created is all explained very in detail in the scriptures. Right? So, Prabhupada says this atheistic conclusion that there is no controller, there is no creator is refuted very strongly. Lord is the creator, and Lord has created this world for a specific purpose. This world is a creation, as Prabhupada explained in the previous chapters. It's a chance given to all of us living entities to understand that we have to liberate ourselves from this material world. Right now we are conditioned. We are going on changing our bodies life after life. So we are supposed to understand that this life of repeated birth and death is not the purpose of life, our actual life. We are supposed to liberate ourselves. Okay. So this verse specifically under discussion, Prabhupada says, is clearly telling us, giving us an understanding that Krishna is very clearly telling the basic ingredients or the energies of this material world. I am the source. Krishna is the source. And he says, earth, water, fire, air, ether, intelligence, mind, ego. These are my separated material energies. They are material energies of Krishna, separated energies of Krishna. It's like now we are recording this whole session. After the session is over, this recording is available. This recording is like sort of an energy of mind which is separated. Likewise, this material world or material manifestation is a separated energy of Krishna. Right? This is the understanding Prabhupada gives us. So basically, Prabhupada wants us to understand that this material world's creation is not that Lord simply has done it. Lord has done for our liberation. For us, He has done it. So that, we having the tendency to enjoy the material world, we come here and we have an imitation life. See, in spiritual world, we are all acting on the spiritual platform, wherein there is no such phenomena of the material body, material senses, and the different various arrangements in the material world like that. In spiritual world, everything is acting on the spiritual platform, wherein everything is chinmaya. Chinmaya means it is knowledgeable. Prabhupada gives some examples. When in the spiritual world, when Krishna is playing a flute and he's playing the flute and is walking in the forest, the waters of Yamuna, they are so attracted to the sound of Krishna's flute that they stop to just hear the beautiful sound of flute. Whereas in the present situation, our experience, we don't see water stopping for anything. Right? There's one more example. When Krishna is description in the Krishna book, when Krishna was passing through the forests with all his friends, some of the trees loaded with fruits, they were just bending down as if they're offering their obeisances or namaskar to Krishna. So which means everything in the spiritual world, they are not matter, they're all spirit entities in different various forms. They're all doing their service to Krishna in different ways. They're all interacting with Krishna. That's what it means. So whereas in the material world, the same reflection is there. Original, real existence in spiritual world is reflected in material world because we want to imitate Krishna. That's going to be explained in this chapter later. That we want to imitate like Krishna. We are envying against Krishna. So Krishna has created this material world for us to experience the life like in spiritual world. But what is limiting us here is, see, as spirit soul, we want to have eternal life. Right? As a spirit soul, we want to have, a happy life forever. But the material body is a limitation. It's going to not going to last forever. It is asat, achit, nirananda. It is going to end one day. It is full of ignorance. It is very, very, very miserable. This is our situation in the material world. So we as spirit souls want to experience Satchidananda. But the material situation, material body, material circumstances is a limitation. So constantly we are trying to experience this in different ways, different forms, but the material situation is obstacle for us here. So Krishna wants to make us understand, as long as you're in the material world, you cannot experience Satchidananda. Whereas he has created a phenomena in the material world, wherein you get a feel or a sense of spiritual existence here. But it is not spiritual. It is exactly what Bhagavatam, very first verse says this. His whole existence appears to be real, but actually it is unreal. Example is given of the mirage. In the desert, very distance, you see there is some water body, right? But when you go near, there is no water. It's illusion. There's a feel of reality here, but actually there is not real. Oh, we feel like, oh, family, society, community, everything is so well, so good. Suddenly, some calamity comes, some disaster happens, somebody dies. All that feeling of what we had over. Again, one more. Like this world is again and again, repeatedly, we are going through miserable situations, which is again to remind us that this world is not actually real world. Smara nitya anityatam. Chanakya Pandit says, you always remember that this world is a temporary place. It's not a permanent place. But whereas our anchoring as a spirit soul is permanency, permanent situation, complete knowledge, always blissful situation. This is what our anchoring of the soul is. But material world, we are not able to experience this. So Krishna has created an imitation world here. This will be explained further in the 15th chapter, very, very nicely. Krishna says, just like there is a banyan tree, and that banyan tree is upside down. This example we can see on the bank of a pond or a lake. A tree on the bank reflected in the water will be upside down. So this material world is like the upside down of the spiritual world. It's a reflection, but it is pervertedly reflected. Pervertedly reflected means it is distorted with a lot of inebrities. It is not exactly, the reflection is all ulta-palta. Right? What you think is something very good in the material world is the most cheapest or very insignificant in the spiritual world. Just like in the material world, all of everybody is running after sense gratification. That is the most insignificant thing in the spiritual world. Because there, the main focus is how to satisfy the senses of Krishna. Krishnendriya Priti Dhare Premanam. Whereas in material world, every living entity is running after sense gratification, self-interest. Atmendriya Priti Dhare Kamanam means Atmendriya, my senses have to be satisfied. This is the difference. So to give a sense of the existence, like in spiritual world, Krishna has created a phenomena. Phenomena means there are different things arranged with regard to our bodily construction also. You always feel as though body is real, no? When you're living. You don't feel you're a machine. But Krishna very clearly says in Gita, this body is a machine, yantra. We never feel it is a yantra because we are an illusion. This illusion has come about so wonderfully that we think, yes, everything is okay, everything is fine. Prabhupada gives a very nice example. So long we think, oh, this body is mine. Once this soul is left the body, this body is dead body. Right? What happened to that body? That person in the body? We never saw that person at all. So this is the illusion we are living in. Right? So Prabhupada is giving us understanding of this. Krishna is telling this material world, what it is made up of my separated energy. Called the material energy or the Bahiranga Shakti, material nature, Prakriti. It is composed of these 8 aspects. Earth, water, fire, air, ether. They are gross elements. And there are subtle elements called mind, intelligence, ego. Different permutation, combination of these very 8 energies of Krishna is what we are seeing around us. Somewhere this prominence of water, prominence of air, prominence of earth, right? And when it comes to a living entity, soul is there, but soul is engaged by this permutation combination of these 8 elements. What is our body? Body is simply Panchabhuta, these 5 elements and the subtle elements of mind, intelligence, ego. This is how Krishna is analyzing material world. So basically, this verse number 4 is the analysis of the actual situation of God in this material world with its diverse energies. And further explanation Krishna gives in verse number 5. Apareyam itastvanyam vidhi me prakritim param jiva bhutam mahabaho yayedam dharyate jagat. So now Krishna has explained about material energy. What about us? We living entities, Krishna says, we are also energy of Krishna. A very important revelation. Right? So Krishna says the material nature is called apara prakriti. Apara means inferior nature. Besides this inferior nature, O Arjuna, mighty armed Arjuna, he says, Mahabaho, right? There is one more superior energy of mind, para prakriti, that is we living entities. What are we doing? We are struggling in this material world and we are trying to somehow maintain ourselves in this material world. Right? Struggle for life, struggle for existence is going on. What is struggle for existence? Means I want to somehow go on. I don't want to give up my life or rather end my life. That's what every living entity is doing. Struggle for existence. Right? The struggle for existence has become a big struggle for everybody. Right? Whereas the struggle for existence is not our actual situation. Our situation is completely, blissfully staying in the spiritual world with Krishna. The struggle for existence is a voluntary acceptance of our own desire to become independent of Krishna. That's the reason. Krishna bhuliya jiva bhoga vancha kare nikatastha maya tare japatiya hare. So herein Krishna is revealing few wonderful aspects with regard to how material nature, inert material nature is always subordinate. It is inferior. Inferior means it cannot act on its own. Prabhupada says the cosmic manifestation has no power to act. Right? An aircraft standing in the airport will not move an inch unless the pilot goes inside and operates it. Right? Or a car in front of your house will not go anywhere unless you go sit and operate, or you tell one person to operate it or rather drive it. Right? So Prabhupada says, unless the matter or the inferior energy is touched or moved by the superior energy, that is we living entities, matter cannot move. Because the general notion with the scientific community in the Western world was nature acts independently. The famous book of Prabhupada known as Life Comes from Life. A lot of very wonderful talks, conversations, especially during the morning walks Prabhupada had with his many of his disciples, Western disciples in America. Many of his disciples were all from scientific fraternity, some were doctorates. So Prabhupada had opportunity to see that the disciples pose themselves as scientists, modern scientists, and Prabhupada is giving the Vedic perspective of the fallacies in their scientific understanding. The modern day scientific understanding is life comes from matter. So Prabhupada says, okay, you have all the ingredients present here. Now, if you say our body is only chemicals, some chemical may be missing when somebody is not alive. So inject those chemicals, make them alive. Or you say, okay, so life is because the red blood cells, they become white when somebody like they don't function, they are not alive. So fine, you have lot of chemicals, red chemicals, right? You inject them, make them, make that person alive. So the fallacy of the modern day scientific understanding is that they think there is basically to deny the existence of God, to say that there is no controller, there's nothing, no active principle working in the material world. Everything is going on automatically. There is no systematic arrangement in the material world. Right? Anishvaraha, Jagadahur Anishvaraha, Asatyam Apratishtamte. The demoniac tendency. Right? So, this Prabhupada often refuted in his teachings and in various forums and various different in various books, in lectures. Often he keeps telling, matter doesn't create life, rather matter comes from life, life also comes from life. He gives the example of how a lemon tree, once you start producing lemons, from the lemons, you get so much of citric acid. Citric acid, one lemon tree can produce so many lemons. It can create, it can produce tons of citric acid for you, whole life of the lemon tree. Which means the one spirit soul in that lemon tree is got this tree of a lemon, tree. It is producing so many chemicals. So likewise, even you, as spirit soul in the human body, can produce sweat, can produce so many chemicals within your body. When the spirit soul is out of the body, this body is of no use. This is what Krishna is trying to tell us here. The material world or the material ingredients, material nature is inferior, apara prakriti. Whereas the spiritual nature, spiritual world is para prakriti, or we living entities are para prakriti. And one more important principle Krishna is trying to tell us here is, both of us, material nature and living entities, apara prakriti, para prakriti, are under the control of Supreme Ishvara, Krishna. Right? So, basically Krishna is trying to tell us, we are also one of the energies. We are not independent. We are not just like there's a class of transcendentalists who claim that we become independent at one point of time of our spiritual perfection. They are called Mayavadis. Right now we are under illusion, but once we get perfection in understanding and we do some austerities, we also become one with God. We merge with God. It's a wrong understanding. We can never become one with God. Right? This is the point. So this is very clearly, emphatically described here. So our situation is always energy. Of course, our situation is better than material energy. Nevertheless, we are energy. This is exactly the concept which Krishna is going to repeat again and again about what is known as Purusha Prakriti. We are Prakriti. Material nature also is Prakriti, but material nature is Apara Prakriti, inferior nature, inert nature, only activated by Krishna or living entities under certain situations. Whereas we living entities are also Prakriti, Para Prakriti. We are also under control of Krishna. Our situation is very minute, Anu, whereas Krishna is Vibhu. So Prabhupada is very nicely concluding this fifth verse, purport by telling, therefore one may conclude that the Gita confirms the living entity to be only one of the multi-energies of Krishna, and when this energy is freed from material contamination, it becomes fully Krishna conscious or liberated. So our situation is always to be subordinate. Prabhupada gives an example of how in the Vedic understanding, Prakriti means female. Purusha means male. The Vedic civilization says Purusha, a husband, is taking care of wife or female. That conception, right? So basically, we are all Prakriti, whereas Krishna is Purusha, only Purusha. There's a nice pastime about Rupa Goswami. When he was in Vrindavan, Rupa Goswami, one of the 6 Goswamis, Mirabai, one of the great devotees of Krishna, she happened to visit Vrindavan. That time, she got to know that Rupa Goswami is in Vrindavan doing his bhajan. So she wanted to meet him. Whereas Rupa Goswami was little, trying to avoid meeting Mirabai, telling that, oh, I will not meet any woman. So she sent a message, we are all women only, Prakriti. Krishna is only Purusha. Right? When this message was sent, Rupa Goswami raised, yes, actually we are all Prakriti of Krishna. Krishna is the only Purusha. Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishnaha Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karanaka. So basically, to make us understand, we are trying to imitate the Purusha in the material world. This was explained to us in the 5th chapter, last verse. how we're imitating, because of which we are losing our peace. The peace formula. Purusha is the only enjoyer. He is the only proprietor. He is the well-wisher. This is what Krishna explained in 5th chapter, last verse. Bhoktaram yagnatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam gnatva mam shantim richati. 5.29. So Krishna clearly says his position as a Purusha. He is the ultimate enjoyer of all the various sacrifices, all the various activities. He is the enjoyer of all of them. Whereas we want to imitate Krishna. Krishna says, I am the owner, master of all the planetary systems, all the devatas. We want to imitate that also. Actually, in the material world, either in the form, in the body of a man or a woman, we all want to become Purushas. That is the problem. Right? This body is only, in one sense, one dress only. Either in a male form or a female form, other bodies. We want to imitate as a Purusha. The mood of a Purusha. That is what is the reason for us to be in the material world. Prabhupada uses this Purusha tendency as lauding tendency. Lauding over. I am the master of all I survey. This mood. As long as material content is there, Prabhupada says, we will be in the material world. Taking on different forms, different shapes. Even Devatas have this tendency, lauding tendency. Right? Indra is afraid, I should not lose my position as Indra. And the rishis are performing austerities. He wants to put an obstacle in their performance of austerities. Like this, everybody wants to keep their position secure, and they want name, fame, lauding tendency, which only Lord can have this position, these aspects. Right? Want to enjoy the different aspects in the material world, want to show ourselves as the master of this material world, or want to become, I am a well-wisher of everybody. This is an imitation. This is going to disturb our peace. It's going to continue our material existence. That's what Krishna explains. So like this, Prabhupada says very clearly that we have to understand our situation is subordinate. Only Ishvara is Krishna. Ekale Ishvare Krishna Arasaba Bhritya. Only Ishvara is Krishna. All of us are his Prakriti subordinates. Bhritya means servants. This is the important principle which Prabhupada is trying to explain in this verse number 5. So verse number 4, Krishna explained about Bahiranga Shakti, material nature. And Krishna says it's a separated material energy. Verse number 5, Krishna explains that there is one more energy called the marginal energy, or we living entities who are para prakriti. Material nature is apara prakriti, inferior nature, we are superior nature. But all these, both of them are energies of Krishna only. We are not independent, or we never become independent. Very important revelation. Okay. Now, next, Krishna says, in verse 6 and 7, he will sort of conclude what he has spoken so far. Eni bhutani sarvanityupadharya aham krishnasya jagataha prabhavaha pralayas tatha. He says, whatever you see in this material world is actually a combination of material and spiritual aspects in different permutation combinations. Krishna says, I am the origin for all of them, and I'm also the cause for destruction for all of this. What are we actually? We are a combination of the para prakriti as spirit soul, having a body. What is this body? Matter. Matter means the Panchabhuta, 5 elements, and mind, intelligence, ego. Right? So, basically, we are a combination of matter and spirit, nonsense as of now. And anything you see in the material world that's what it is. Either it is purely matter with no spirit in that, or it's any living entity means matter and spirit. Material body, spirit, soul inside it. This is the lesson which Krishna has been giving from the beginning of Gita. Deha, Dehi. Dehi nosmi yatha dehe. Kaumaram, Yavvanam, Jara. Deha, body, Dehi, spirit, soul. Right? So this differentiation we have to understand from just being explained from the very beginning of Gita. So basically, Krishna is trying to tell us that spirit's creation is eternal. Spirit's existence is eternal. Not that it is created at one point of time. In fact, 13th chapter, Krishna is going to explain matter and spirit's existence is eternal. They, especially matter, manifests, unmanifests at a certain point of time. Right? So when it's manifest, it is called creation. When it is unmanifest, it's called dissolution. Right? Basically, everything is dissolved and is conserved in the body of Vishnu, Mahavishnu. It's called law of conservation. So basically, here, Krishna is trying to tell us that when you see any manifestation in the material world, say you see a body, animal body, or a tree body, you should understand that it is a combination of spirit, soul in that body, and also the tree body which the tree is having is a combination of the external energy of earth, water, fire, air, ether, and tree also has mind, intelligence, ego. This is what it is. It is what Krishna explained in this 5th chapter. We should see Samadarshana, right? Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini Shuni Cheva Shapakecha Pandita Samadarshana. 5.18. Now what did he say? A learned, a gentle Brahmana, a person, he sees a learned Brahmana, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini. Gavi means a cow, Hastini means elephant. Shuni Cheva Shapakecha. Shuni means dog, Shapaka means Chandala, low caste. The different varieties of entities. A Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater. In terms of species of life, in terms of the grades of their understanding is totally different. So, Krishna says, when a learned man, Pandita, he sees all of them equally on the spiritual platform. Equanimity of mind, he was telling. Right? Equal vision he was talking about. The equality is on this platform of spirit. Materially, always will be different. You cannot equate that way. Only platform we can come on the equality is spiritual platform. Materially, always there will be differences because each of us have so many different desires, tendencies. Right? That's why there's so much of varieties of life around us. Even each of us will not even match with our appearance. Each of us have different appearances. That's how the material world is. So we should see the spiritual equality. That's what Krishna explained. So here Krishna is telling, what you see in the material world, everything around us, is a combination of matter and spirit. Right? Prabhupada very nicely explains that similarly, this material world also you see, because Vishnu is in the material world as super soul, this whole world is sustained. It's like in our body, the soul is present, because of it this body is right now active. Once the soul leaves the body, this body is no more active. Right? This body is useless. So likewise, Prabhupada says, the two energies of Krishna, Apara Prakriti and Para Prakriti, they are combined, and consequently, this is the cause for everything in the material world. This is again under Lord's arrangement, Lord's supervision. That's what Krishna is trying to tell us here. Right? So, the living entity, we as humans, we may manipulate cement, steel, some things, and construct Prabhupada says, a skyscraper, a factory or a city. But I cannot manufacture a skyscraper or a city or something with nothing. I need basic ingredients to do further manipulation of things and create things. I don't create. With the existing materials, I just do permutation, combination and say as though I have done it. This is because of my ego, ahankara. Right? So basically, Krishna is trying to tell, whatever you do in the material world, I have provided everything to you. You only do the permutation, combination of it. You only manipulate, you only do other things with that. You handle them. So, Prabhupada says, as a living entity, we cannot create a planet or a universe. Only Krishna can do that. Krishna's energies can do it. Right? Because Krishna is the supreme creator, Krishna is the supreme controller, whereas we are only part and parcels who have some limited powers, again under Krishna's control. Basically, Prabhupada is trying to tell us, Krishna is the cause of all causes. So with this, Krishna concludes this particular section by telling how he is actually the cause of everything, and everything is resting on him. And there is nothing superior to him. Just like we had many, many great demons in the history. Hiranyakashipu, Ravana. All of them had become so powerful. They wanted to deny Krishna's supremacy. Because Krishna is openly declaring in the next verse, Mattaha parataram na anyat, kinchidasti dhananjaya, Mayi sarvam idam protam sutre manigana iva. He is addressing Arjuna as Dhananjaya. Why? Because during one of the situations during Mahabharata, there was a requirement of a lot of funds for some sacrifice for the Pandavas, for which Yudhisthira Maharaj asked Arjuna, please get the funds. So he went to a particular place and somehow he arranged a lot of gold. So that's how he is known as Dhananjaya. He won the wealth. He got the wealth called Dhananjaya. Dhananjaya means to Arjuna's another name wherein he has got the wealth for performance of sacrifice. So this Dhananjaya Arjuna, Krishna is addressing, even though you may be Dhananjaya, but my position is nobody can equal me or nobody can surpass me. Mattaha parataram na anyat. In Vedic understanding, it is called asama urdhva. No samana, no urdhva means nobody equal, nobody is superior to me. I am the supreme. There is no truth superior to me. I am the ultimate truth, Krishna is telling. And everything is resting on me. Very nice example Krishna gives. Just like you see, somebody is, I am wearing a kanti mala. This kanti mala is not simply standing like this. Behind this tulsi beads, there is a thread holding it. Right? So Krishna is telling, just like there is a sutra, thread, holding a pearl necklace, beautiful pearl necklace women wear. So the pearls are not standing on its own. Behind that there is a sutra, there's a thread. So likewise, Krishna says, I am that thread, unseen, unknown, and everything is resting on me. Practically, I am the sustaining force, Krishna says. Everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. Very beautiful understanding. So basically, Krishna wants to say that there is nothing superior to me. I am the ultimate truth, and everything is resting on me. Krishna is going to explain this point of everything resting on him again in 9th chapter. Maya tadam vidam sarvam jagad avyakta murti namasthani sarva bhutani nachaham teshavasita. Krishna says, by my impersonal energy, I am all pervading, everything is resting on me, Krishna. Basically, Krishna wants to say that there is nothing which is without him. Everything is actually situated on him. He is the ultimate reality, ultimate truth. We say, this statement in Vedas, which is called Sarvam Khalo Idam Brahma, which means everything is an emanation from Krishna only. Nothing is independent of Krishna. So this verse specifically in discussion, verse number 7, Prabhupada explains how through this verse, Krishna is establishing that He is a person. Supreme Absolute Truth is a person who is all pervading by his multi-energies, both material and spiritual. Very interesting. Why? Because we have an understanding of a person who is limited. I am sitting in Vrindavan. I am not in Bangalore. I am not in Hyderabad. I am not in Bombay. No. I am limited. Whereas Krishna, he is sitting in Goloka and simultaneously he can be everywhere. And everything is in him. Everything is, Krishna said in 6th chapter, if you see, that, the verses from 32 onwards, if you see, I think 28, 29, yes. Krishna said, 29th verse, 6th chapter, he said, a true yogi observes me in all beings and also sees every being in me. Right? Very interesting perspective Krishna gave. And further, the next verse he says, one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me. Yomam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mayi pashyati. Tasyaham na pranashyami nacha sachamena pranashyati. Right? So, whatever we see, everything is Krishna's energy only. And everything in Krishna also. Just like, from Krishna, all these universes have come. As Mahavishnu was explaining the example. Again, in the pastime of Yashoda Krishna, Krishna showed the universal form in his mouth. The pastime of he eating the mud. Yashoda told, open your mouth. She saw whole Brahmandas inside the mouth of Krishna. Right? So, Krishna, we can see Krishna everywhere. Krishna's energy everywhere. And also everything in Krishna. This is Krishna. He is all pervading by his energies, both material and spiritual, and everything in Krishna. Just like in the, during Kartik time, we offer a prayer. That Nama Udara means like Yashoda Mata is binding Krishna's stomach with a rope. That stomach which is holding all the universes, Yashoda is binding by a rope of love. Said. So like that, this is Krishna's inconceivable energies, opulences. This inconceivable Yoga Maishwaram will be explained more in the coming chapters. But right now, Krishna is giving a sort of an introduction to us. So everything is resting on him. And Krishna says in 9th chapter, everything is not resting also on him. Right? So basically, Krishna wants to say is simultaneously one and different. The Mayavada understanding is what? Two philosophies are explained by Prabhupada in his teachings. The Vaishnava philosophy is called Parinamavada. Parinamavada means theory of transformation, wherein the Supreme Lord has multi-energies and his energies transformed and his manifestations come about. This is what Bhagavatam explains. Okay. Very important. Parinamavada. And the Mayavadis, impersonalists, give a contrary understanding. Whereas this Parinamavada's conclusion is what? Krishna remains as he is even though many energies emanate from him. Purnasya Purnamadaya. He is always complete. Whereas the Vivartavada, the Mayavada philosophy gives this Vivartavada. They say God expands, various manifestations come, and his original personality is over. That is called Vivartavada. Right? So, finally, all of us have become God. That's why they say Rogi Narayana, Goat Narayana, everybody Narayana, Narayana. So, they do arti for patients in the hospital. Right? Everybody have become Narayana. They address each other as Narayana. Right? How Daridra Narayana, Prabhupada says. How Narayana can become Daridra? Is Lakshmi actually Lakshmi Pati? How he can become Daridra? Like this, they have their own concoction. It's called Vivartavada. He expands and he loses his potency. Means they're bringing down just like, they give this example is all material example. You take a piece of paper, you tear it into pieces, paper is no more. Krishna is not like that paper. Right? He can produce innumerable papers. Every time you tear, one more paper will be ready. Like that it is. It's like in the Leela of Brahma Vimohana, what you saw. All the cowherd boys and cows were stolen. But Krishna again manifested. Brahma was bewildered. Oh, where are these people coming from? I have hidden some more. Who are they? This Krishna can unlimitedly expand. That is Krishna's potency. That's what Krishna is telling us here. So this omnipotence of Krishna is what Krishna is explaining here. That everything is resting on me like pearls on a thread. Basically means I am all pervading. All these energies, what you see is only emanating from me. They are all my energies in different permutations, combinations. We'll see more explanations how these energies are manifesting. In the next few verses, Krishna explains how he's manifesting all these energies, all pervading his. Right? Very interesting. This chapter 7 is very, very wonderful. Just meditating, contemplating on this chapter every day, you'll become fully Krishna conscious. Maya Sakta Mana Partha. Every day, just remember what Krishna has told here and just contemplate on them. Oh, Krishna says, I am like a thread, sutra, and all the pearls are sitting on that. I am that. So that's why Krishna is unseen. Even though all this world we are seeing, where is Krishna? Krishna is behind the scene. He'll be seen, he'll be revealed when you want to, when you are qualified to. Otherwise, he'll be always unseen. Krishna says in this chapter again, I'll remain behind the curtains always for a fools. Naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samavrataha. He says later on in this same chapter. So like this very interesting, points Krishna is going to explain in this chapter. And says, for unintelligent people, for fools, I'll remain always unseen. For want of understanding by them. Okay, fine. So I'll conclude here. Before I close, any questions, any clarifications? Any?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, I have one doubt. Verse text 6, the last line of Srila Prabhupada is quoted from the Kathopanishad, Nityo Nityanam Chetananam. Could you please explain this line word for word, please?
Okay. This is a famous statement which Prabhupada often quotes. I think even in the second chapter, Prabhupada has quoted this, I think 2-3 times. Basically, this is a statement wherein it is being emphasized that one Nitya, one Chetana. Nitya means eternally existing. Chetana means spirit soul, the entity, living entity. There is one supreme entity, one eternal existence, one eternal entity, and there are innumerable Nityo Nityanam Chetana Chetananam. But one Nitya, one Chetana, and there are innumerable, all of us living entities are innumerable Nityas, innumerable Chetanas. All of us are actually Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam Vidadhati Kaman. Okay, this is the actual statement. Eko Bahuna means that one Nitya, one Chetana is maintaining and sustaining all of us. Right? I'll open that. I think it is in the second chapter, beginning only. Prabhupada quotes this verse. Yes. 2.12. Second chapter, 12th verse, purport. Prabhupada mentioned this full verse from the Katha Upanishad. Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam Vidadhati Kamam. Right? So, basically, this statement is Vedic Upanishad statement is telling that one eternal entity, spiritual entity, is maintaining innumerable eternal entities, spiritual entities, and he is sustaining them, and is taking care of them based on their different desires. Right? So, tam atmastam ye anupashyanti dhiras tesham shanti shashvati netaresham. So, this Vedic statement says that that supreme personality of Godhead, by his plenary portion, is also in the heart of every living entity. Right? Tam atmastam is there in everybody's heart as super soul. Only saintly persons, right? Only saintly persons who can see within and without the same Supreme Lord can actually attain to perfect and eternal peace. Prabhupada explains. Tesham shanti shashvati netaresham. Right? So, basically, this is a statement in the Upanishad explaining the Supreme Lord's position. It's like, you may assume yourself as a maintainer of your family, or a political leader may say, I am the one who am maintaining this whole country. But you're only an instrument in this whole arrangement of the Lord. Unless Lord maintains, Lord sustains, you cannot stand within for 1 second also. That's the whole meaning of this point. So, when Krishna says, sixth verse of 7th chapter, that etani yonini bhutani sarvani tyupadharaya. And the very word upadharya means, like sustaining, knowing. I am doing this. All the living entities, sustenance, I am doing. And aham krishnasya jagataha prabhava pralaya, which means Krishna is creating the whole material manifestation again and again to maintain all of us. If you see arrangement which Krishna has made around us, is sun shining, moon, and the different arrangements, the material world, all is meant for our maintenance. We'll see all these explanations given by Krishna in the 15th chapter again. And the arrangement of sun, arrangement of moon, arrangement of, the digestion in our body. So many things which is all going on in the material world is all arrangements for our maintenance only. And he's sitting as Paramatma in our heart and guiding us. Next, what to do, next what? He's reminding us, oh, you wanted this, do that. So practically, we are completely maintained by him, sustained by him every moment after moment. Right? So Prabhupada is trying to explain to us, we don't realize this and want to claim that I am the maintainer. This is one of the principles of surrender. Out of the 6 principles of surrender, one principle is that Krishna is the maintainer. Goptrutve varanam tatha. Right? Understand that Krishna is maintaining me. Other arrangements, government is maintaining me, my family is maintaining me, my company is maintaining me, my business is maintaining me, my bank balance. It's all arrangements which Krishna only is doing that. With one stroke, all the arrangements can go for a sixer. Right? So we have to understand that through Krishna's arrangement only everything is going on. This is the understanding here. So basically, Prabhupada is quoting this statement to make us understand Krishna is the source of everything, is the cause of all causes. Ultimate maintainer is Krishna. This you have to understand. There is no question of we claiming to be maintainer or independently doing anything. That's the point. Okay. Hope it's clear.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you.
Okay, fine. Anything else? Shall we close now? Okay, so I request all of you to read carefully the purports, and also there's a website called prabhupadavani.org, wherein all the lectures of Prabhupada very nicely, sequentially arranged, especially on Bhagavad Gita section, chapter wise. Okay, so during the week, please hear the lectures on these verses. Prabhupada has given extensive lectures on chapter 7. So if you want to get more insight, more in-depth understanding of what we are discussing, I strongly recommend that you read Prabhupada's purports for 7th chapter again and again, and also hear those lectures. Prabhupada is going to give wonderful perspectives. Same verse Prabhupada is going to explain in one more way. how Prabhupada, is always.
Prabhupada Vani, that's what you said.
I'll
Prabhuji?
share that. I'll share
Yes.
that website, the link.
Thank you.
Group. Okay, you can go there. So there's different, Prabhupada's, all the Vani means all his talks are recorded in that, are all arranged very sequentially, in a very, in a chronological way. It's like Bhagavad Gita. If you take chapter 1, starting from 1967, 68 onwards, what all Prabhupada has spoken in that chapter. Very nicely it is arranged sequentially. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, what all Prabhupada has spoken in different contexts, everything is there. Whatever you want, you can see. Very nicely it is arranged. Okay. It's all done by devotees. Lot of, all the recordings from 1967 onwards is available. His own, and also the transliteration, because sometimes Prabhupada's voice in the initial days may not be so clear while recording. So the transliteration, whatever Prabhupada is speaking, the same thing, it is also transliterated. And if you can't, maybe hearing some problem is there, you can always hear and then also see what Prabhupada is speaking. Oh, Prabhupada has told this word. Sometimes Sanskrit, you may not be familiar. What Prabhupada has just now told, I want to know what that word Prabhupada said. So when you see that transliteration, what Prabhupada's, whatever Prabhupada has spoken, it is again available in a word form with that lecture. Just audio, and below that, all that, very beautiful, nice it is. I recommend that all of you hear, because we have to absorb our mind in Prabhupada Vani. Vani is more powerful in the present context, because Prabhupada has left behind him a legacy of his golden words for us, for our benefit. He's very carefully, he has recorded everything, whatever he has spoken. And Prabhupada has spoken Bhagavad Gita chapter 1 to chapter 10. Every verse there is a lecture. Very wonderful, because these all lectures he has spoken in the initial days when ISKCON was started. Much before ISKCON. 1966 onwards. He started the second chapter and gradually he came up to 10th chapter. After that, ISKCON, activities grew. Somehow it got discontinued. But anyway, nevertheless, in different places also, whatever Prabhupada has spoken later on in different verses, all that is there in the Prabhupada Vani. And also Bhagavatam lectures are there. His conversations are there. His talks are there in various, with different prominent people. So very interesting. A lot of time you can, it's more than 3,000 hours of Prabhupada's Vani is there. Right? It will take 5 hours or rather 5 years to carefully hear every day if you're 1 hour also. That much is there. So much of, spiritual assets are there to utilize. His books, so many books, Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita. Now we're only reading ABCD. What about Bhagavatam? Like this, Bhagavad Gita is only 700,000 pages maybe, maximum. Right? Whereas Bhagavatam is all 1,200, 1,300 pages. Like that, there are 18 books. So when you're going to read that, and after that Chaitanya Charitamrita, another, 14 books or 17 books. So lot of, senior citizen, you're telling, no, Mr. Kamath. So you have a lot of, you should use your time now, fully. From morning till night, only absorption in Prabhupada books and Vani, nothing else. No gossip, no watching IPL match, no watching election news, nothing. Okay, morning, maybe 5 minutes you can spend for some news in the world. But absorb your time in Krishna consciousness. Afterwards, you should not feel, oh, I had so much time. Just like I give this example always to people. Generally, in our school days now, we used to think, okay, exam is still a lot of time is there. We'll read. 1 month comes, okay, some reading starts. 1 month only, no. not that much serious, but little seriousness. 1 week means seriousness increases. And if it is 2 days before, oh, no other work, no TV, nothing, only reading. Then we realize, all this would have done so much nice concepts are there. I have read nicely and absorbed it. For exam, I'm not able to read this. 1 day, 2 days, what you read the whole textbook? Nothing. No? Same thing happens to us. Our life goes on. So many years went off. Bhagavatam is still sitting in the cupboard with all the covers also packed. When I will read them, you will think. Okay, so better sooner, we take up and start reading. Yeah. So time is very valuable, precious. So we should always have a plan. Okay, maybe we don't know how much time our life is going to go on, but at least, okay, this year let me complete 2 cantos of Bhagavatam reading. Let us do some sankalpa. Krishna, please help me. Prabhupada, please help me. Right, like that, if you do sankalpa, Krishna will help. Otherwise, life will go on. One day, fine day will come. Okay, time over. I didn't even open Bhagavatam. That should not be the situation. Right, exam will come anytime. That's the problem. This exam is like, no date. Anytime exam will come. Okay, fine. Anyway, I'm not making you fearful. Just giving you the practicality of things so that we become some more serious. That's what. Because so much Prabhupada has left for us. Read, understand. All the things Prabhupada has spoken in his books. Prabhupada says everything I have given in books. Read. You'll get understand everything. Bhakti Vedanta purports. Okay, fine. So I think I have taken a lot of time. I'll close now. We will catch it next week.
Would you please share the link of the website on the group?
Yes, I will share that.
This weekend. Yes.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.